Good morning and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, June 29th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher. We're up 1.16% this morning, and I'm seeing gains in tech stocks, which is nice. Markets are really looking past this weekend's, U.S.-Iran hostilities. Both sides signaled a willingness to continue the mediation effort, so that's kind of positive. Later today, that the ECB summit is going to start, and Christine Lagarde, the president of the ECB, is scheduled to speak this afternoon. That's the keynote speech. Also, we got a decision from the Supreme Court scheduled for this week involving that Federal Reserve Governor, Lisa Cook. That should be coming out maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but this week. In corporate news, what do we got? We got Verizon being removed from the Dow Jones Industrial Average today. And sure enough, today they announced the merger of its international operations with British Telecom. Comcast came out and said that they're going to be planning to split its media and technology businesses into two separate companies. The NASDAQ 100, they're going to be adding SpaceX on July 7th. Martin Marietta is set to combine with privately held LeHost in a $7 billion transaction. On the corporate calendar, we got shareholders meetings going on from TopBuild, Snowflake, and Trip, BLD, SNOW, TRIP. On the earnings front, it's a little quiet. Concentrix Corp and Aero Environment, they're expected to have earnings coming out today after the bell. Moving over to the global markets, we're looking at the DAX. The DAX is actually higher. It's up, 0.07%. There's some weakness in autos, though. Well, the FTSE trading lower, minor, down 0.04%. Telecom stocks are, limiting the losses there, and as they're trading higher. The CAC in Paris down 0.02%. There's some weakness in luxury goods. Sentiment is cautious ahead of the ECB conference going on. In terms of Asia, last night we're looking at the Nikkei. The Nikkei was traded higher by 0.15%. I mean, that's over 100 points, supported by a rebound in semiconductor stocks and positive data on retail sales. Hong Kong, the Hang Seng actually finished higher by 1.57% with gains in tech and consumer discretionary stocks. China, the Shanghai, finished higher by 1.16% with financial stocks leading the way. Market responded positively to the latest news out of the PBOC. And then we turn over to oil, and oil is, trading higher, slightly higher, up about 1%. The key aspect here is Iran's foreign minister is arguing that the memorandum that the Trump administration signed earlier this month gives Iran the primary responsibility for managing commercial traffic through the strait, and they're planning on doing tolls. Trump administration denies that they have that right. So the talks are still going on, but it's causing a little nervousness in oil this morning. In terms of earnings, CNXC, Charlie Nancy, X-Ray Charlie, Concentrix, they're announcing their earnings after the bell. EPS is $2.64. Expected move is $4.60. On the economic front, Dallas Fed manufacturing survey is due out today at 10:30 a.m. But for the week ahead, it's really about employment data. You've got the non-farms payroll, you got the JOLTS report, you get the ADP report, you get the Challenger jobless cuts report. So the jobless claims is the big one. That's coming out Thursday because Friday's a holiday. Okay, now we're moving on to stocks moving the tape this morning. I'm going to start off with Apple. Apple is lobbying the Trump administration as they seek to buy chips from CXMT. Google's placing limits on Meta's use of its Gemini models. They're doing it to everyone, not just Meta. Australia looks to double penalties for kids on social media ban. Let's talk about NVIDIA. That Davos summit starts on July 1st. Boeing, they got that Farnborough Air Show which is scheduled for, it's just 3 weeks away, July 20th through July 24th, and that's when they get a lot of big orders, so it's worth paying attention to. Verizon, Alphabet is replacing Verizon in the Dow Jones Industrial Average this morning. In terms of merger news, Rocket Lab's going to acquire all outstanding shares of Idirium for $54 a share. Comcast splitting into two separate groups. They're going to spin off CNBC, the TV channel. terms of shareholders meetings today, Top Build, Snowflake, Trip.com, all having shareholders meetings today. ACAD, that's Acadia Pharmaceuticals. Citibank puts it on a 90-day upside catalyst watch list this morning. Okay, now we're going to talk about our stock of the day. I like Palantir, today. I mean, they announced this strategic initiative with NVIDIA, which is positive. Call volume was 467K to 294K. 0.63 put-to-call ratio on Friday. That's positive. Open interest 1.9 million to 1.7 million. Major brokers remain positive on the stock. But, I'm not paying up for it. I mean, I'll say 116 to 116.50 is an entry price. I'm thinking 116.50 makes sense. And I do think you can pull out 1% gain from there. But that's my pick of the day. Palantir 116.5. So let's move on. Let's talk about the news hitting the tape over the last 15 minutes or so. TOYO to join the Russell 3000 microcap index. Booz Allen BAH announces a partnership with OpenAI. JP Morgan's out there saying the next banking crisis may come from cyber attacks, not credit losses. Bank of New York adds Circle stablecoin to digital asset platform. Let's see what else we got here. Abiva gets FDA approval for pediatric use for one of their drugs. Amgen, EU regulators are calling for the approval of Tanvos to be revoked. GameStop pushes ahead with its bid for eBay despite the board's rejection. Nike's earnings are tomorrow afternoon. Guidance cut is expected from the new CFO. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's move on to yesterday's pick of the day, which was Boeing. I mean, the stock opened up at 217.55, fell to 216.05. Now, I said 217 as an entry price, and then it rallied and it hit 222.58, beating the 1% goal. So there was a winner. All right, traders, that concludes today's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.